and I'm pleased to have them both with me here today to answer any questions that you might have of them. As you know, Nevada is continuing to operate in phase 2 of our Roadmap to Recovery plan, allowing our medical, public health, and emergency response professionals to evaluate and analyze new trends, including what is now a 4-week upward trend in new daily cases. We're still watching a continued increase in our confirmed and suspected COVID-19 hospitalizations as well. Recently, that number reached 439 cases in Nevada's hospitals statewide. However, patients requiring ICU beds and ventilator usage continues to hold steady. The Nevada Hospital Association is regularly evaluating the effects of COVID-19 on staffing, PPE supplies, and bed capacity. At this point, the Hospital Association continues to remain confident that they can serve the needs of all Nevadans. I want to take a moment to remind everyone where we've been. Our goal for phase 1 was to flatten the curve. Nevadans responded to the challenge and were able to lift some restrictions. To go to phase 2, our goal was to achieve 14 days of flat or decreasing positive test rate and hospitalizations. Many Nevadans acted responsibly, and after achieving those goals, we reopened much of our economy. While there continued to be some limitations, bars, restaurants, beauty salons, and many other businesses brought their employees back to work and opened their doors. A short while later, we were able to reopen our state's primary industry, tourism. At that time, I told Nevadans to stay open and remove further restrictions. We had to accept our personal responsibility to keep our workers safe, our families, and ourselves. At that time, I mandated that Nevada businesses and employees who interact with the public wear face coverings, and continue to strongly encourage members of the public to wear face coverings as well. Unfortunately, as you can see from the data that I've presented to you in the numbers, we've taken some steps backwards. Clearly, for many, the excitement and enthusiasm from escaping from our confinement and finally being able to enjoy dinner out with our families, buy new clothes, or get a haircut overshadowed the good judgment we practiced in the previous months. Unfortunately and inexcusably, I also made an error in judgment while out to dinner with my wife, where I was photographed not wearing a mask. It was an error and it was inexcusable. Too many Nevadans have had the same lapse of judgment. Every hour, there are photographs, videos posted of large, unmasked clusters of people, clusters of potential COVID-19 spread. So I want to put it to you like this. If back in March, before we shut down the vast majority of our economy, if I'd have said to you, we can keep our economy open if everyone agrees to wear a mask and maintain 6 feet in person-to-person distance separation, who would have not accepted that offer? Well, that exactly is what needs to be considered today. I don't know why, but when protecting our health and our neighbors' lives became a political, partisan, or even philosophical decision. For me, it's none of those. It's a medical necessity, a human obligation, and it's good for business. Study after study, worldwide, every notable medical professional, from President Trump's top advisor, Dr. Fauci, to all of our Nevada medical professionals, assert one unassailable conclusion: wearing face coverings save lives, period. End of story. In fact, one study highlighted by my medical advisory team showed that replacing our strict lockdown with social distancing alone, without universal masking, results in an unchecked spread with potentially devastating results. It showed that when at least 80% of a population adopts universal masking, it results in a substantial reduction of infection. On the other hand, masking at only 50% of a population is not sufficient to prevent continued spread. We owe it to each other. We owe it to each other to accept the fact that wearing face mask coverings saves lives. We owe it to the many workers, the healthcare professionals, retail clerks, restaurant workers, grocery store employees, to accept that fact as the truth. We owe it to Nevada's many businesses, large and small, to accept that fact. My fellow Nevadans, I'm offering us all another opportunity to limit our risk for exposure and infection and to keep our businesses open and our economy moving forward. For Nevada to stay safe and to stay open, we must make face coverings a routine part of our daily lives. That's why today, at the recommendation of the medical advisory team, I signed a directive with a new requirement for Nevadans and visitors to wear a face covering, their nose and mouth with a mask or face covering when in public space, whether publicly or privately owned. The directive is effective on Friday. Really, it's effective Thursday night at 11:59 p.m. to give businesses one day to get ready. We understand that the situation in some areas of the state is not as bad as it is in others, and we want to keep it not bad in some of the areas of the state. We recognize that as well as all of the work that everyone across the state has been doing, however, we see a spike in positive cases, and we need to ask everyone around the state to do their very best to keep everyone else and all of us safe. This especially applies to indoor activities in which you are near other people, including grocery stores, retail businesses, malls, and gaming properties. Detailed guidance is currently available online at nvhealthresponse.nv.gov. There are, of course, exceptions to this directive. For instance, those with medical conditions that make it difficult to breathe, those with a disability that prevents them from wearing a face covering, and young children between the ages of 2 and 9 are exempt from this requirement. However, they are still strongly encouraged to wear a face covering as much as possible. The full list of exemptions is outlined in the guidance online. I encourage all businesses to prominently post signage to alert customers and help ensure this directive is followed. I know there are some businesses who have already required face coverings for their customers, and I thank you all for the strong and helpful stance. Businesses that fail to meet requirements in this directive will face violations from local licensing agencies and regulatory authorities, in addition to Nevada OSHA. A reminder as well that businesses have the right to ask any patron to leave if they are not following this directive. I called on local governments and regulatory authorities to help ensure there is education around this directive for our businesses and subsequent enforcement through the appropriate bodies if compliance is not met. But it's not just on the business or state and local government. It's on all of us as well. I'm asking individuals throughout Nevada to take this seriously and understand the risk you're posing on yourself and others by not wearing a face covering. And I know there are probably a lot of questions about additional enforcement measures for individuals. I want to be clear. This is a mandate, so enforcement language is necessary. However, ideally, there won't be any criminal civil sanctions for individuals. The last thing I want is for monetary fines or criminal penalties to be imposed on Nevadans, which is why I strongly encourage everyone to follow this directive. Nevada is a state that prides itself on its fierce individualism. It's part of what makes us great. So I'm asking all of us to take our independent spirit and turn that into our individual responsibility to keep the lights on for businesses throughout our state. I believe there are more good than bad in this, but I know that we've all seen the concerning pictures of crowded spaces since reopening. They may appear anecdotal for now, but due to our increasing efforts in contact tracing, they won't be anecdotal for long. Increased contact tracing capacity will continue to help us know where and how people are contracting this virus, and we'll soon be able to pinpoint industries and businesses where people who are already at higher risk are becoming infected with the COVID-19. Our contact tracing makes that possible. I don't want to have to take steps backwards by imposing stronger restrictions on individuals identified as high risk if I don't have to. And the best way to prevent this is to not let a business type or industry become high risk in the first place. It's on all of us, Nevadans. To be clear, due to the data and time needed for evaluation of contact tracing and impacts of this new face covering directive, any discussion of entering phase 3 will be tabled. The pandemic is not over. As I said last week, we're not post-COVID. We're still in the middle of the first wave of COVID. So please, I cannot emphasize this enough. Wear your face covering anytime you leave your house. When you go to a restaurant, when you stop at the pharmacy, when you enter a casino, wear your face covering. You don't need to wear an N95 mask like my medical professionals wear. The medical advisory team and CDC recommended homemade fabric face coverings of all type. They're easy to be made, and they can be made from cloth or fashioned out of something as simple as a bandana or an old t-shirt. Options for doing so have been linked to in our guidance. There are several additional resources online. Let's all work together to stay safe and stay open. No shirt, no shoes, no mask, service. I know Nevadans are worried not only about their health care, but also about their jobs and commerce. They keep asking me and my team, what can I do to help? You can do this. Everyone can. This simple act is not only a way for us to save lives, but also a way for us to save our Nevada's economy. And while I call this press conference to discuss face coverings tonight, I also want to give you a quick update on our state budget. After all, our state budget and economy have been directly impacted by the public health crisis. As you know, the COVID-19 pandemic has caused budget shortfalls for both the 2020 fiscal year and the 2021 fiscal year. Major actions to address the budget shortfall in fiscal year 2020 included the transferring of the rainy day fund, reversing one-time appropriations and capital improvements, and reducing the operating budget by approximately $67.5 million. These were approved by the Interim Finance Committee on June 12th. That brings us to the projected shortfall for the fiscal year 2021. The latest revised revenue projections developed jointly by the Fiscal Analysis Division and the Governor's Finance Office reflects a total general fund shortfall estimated at approximately $1.27 billion. This is approximately 25% of our annual operating budget. We anticipate general fund revenue collections for April business activity will be released in the next few days, at which time the projected shortfalls for both fiscal year 20 and fiscal year 21 will be updated in final actions for both of my budget proposals can be finalized with the most up-to-date numbers. Here's what I want to emphasize before I wrap up. This is not a normal recession. The state went from its economic peak to its economic trough in a matter of weeks. As a result, tough decisions had to be made to save lives. Revenues may very well recover faster than expected if the coronavirus were to subside due to responsible actions by all of us, or if a treatment were to become available earlier than anticipated, or if revenues recovered more slowly and a second wave slows the reopening of our economy. Unprecedented, historic, uncharted. All of these words fit our situation. It would be irresponsible to release every minute-by-minute revision of this budget proposal without proper vetting by our fiscal experts and before receiving our latest revenue numbers, with the hopes of reducing the potential dramatic impacts to our state budget. I look forward to receiving these numbers and making any final adjustments to fiscal year 21 budget proposal so I can share it with all of you. Finally, I want to acknowledge some amazing Nevadans. Back in April, my office launched the Hero of the Day campaign, recognizing Nevadans that have gone above and beyond to help their fellow citizens in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. We recognize medical professionals, first responders, school teachers, grocery clerks, citizens standing up, donation drives, serving food, and many more. As the state continues to reopen, I'm excited to launch a new campaign tonight to recognize Nevada businesses that are following directive guidelines to stop the spread of COVID-19. Tonight, we launched the Battle-Born Business Campaign to highlight the businesses taking creative and safe measures to stay safe and to stay open. Please send nominations with a photo and brief explanation for the nomination to Battle-Born Biz Nevada, that's Battle-Born BIZNV, at gmail.com. That's Battle-Born BIZNV at gmail.com. At this time, I'd like to take a moment to recognize some great Nevadans. My staff and I have briefed numerous business leaders, medical professionals, gaming executives, and labor groups. From chambers of commerce to construction workers to gaming executives to hospitality employees, I want to thank you for your understanding, your support, and your commitment to our shared mission, keeping Nevada open, keeping Nevada strong, and keeping Nevadans and our guests as safe and healthy as possible. I'm asking Nevadans tonight to unify in an effort to move forward. Republicans, Democrats, nonpartisans, left and right, business owners and workers. Let's do what's necessary, not only to keep our economy open, but hopefully to allow us to go full throttle in the future safely and successfully. Anything less than our total commitment will lead to the terrible consequences we've all seen in other parts of our nation and the world. Thank you for your attention, and I now will be happy to take some questions.
As a